Welcome to the Growth and Success Mindset Podcast, where we unlock your potential and ignite your journey to extraordinary achievements. Get ready to elevate your thinking, cultivate resilience, and embrace a life of purpose and fulfillment. Let's rise above limitations and create a life you love.
Welcome back, everybody. Ready for another deep dive?
Absolutely. Let's do it.
Awesome. Today, we're diving into Sam Altman's views on the future of AI.
Yeah, based on his interview on the Y Combinator YouTube channel. Super interesting stuff.
I know, right? Especially for our listeners who, like us, are fascinated by how close we are to actually achieving AGI, artificial general intelligence.
And Altman doesn't hold back. He drops this pretty mind-blowing statement.
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
Superintelligence, ASI, could be here.
Like right around the corner.
He says thousands of days away.
Thousands of days. Wow.
It really makes you think, right?
Yeah, it's a bit wild considering how much skepticism there was about AI not that long ago.
Yeah.
That's interesting, though, is that Altman didn't start his journey in the AI world.
Right. His first venture was something completely different. He was just 19 when he co-founded this company called Looped.
Looped? Wasn't that a location-sharing app?
Yeah, location sharing app. And get this. This was before smartphones were even a thing.
Whoa, hold on. Before smartphones. That's going way back. Trying to get people excited about location sharing back then must have been like...
A tough sell. Definitely. I mean, think about it. No iPhones, no app stores.
People weren't exactly walking around with GPS devices in their pockets.
Exactly. So yeah, trying to convince people to share their location, it was a different world.
I bet. But even though Looped didn't become this massive success story, Altman talks about it as this incredibly valuable experience.
Oh yeah, he emphasizes that a lot. He says he learned so much about building a team, dealing with those early platform shifts, even navigating enterprise sales.
All at 19. That's pretty amazing.
He's a real crash course in entrepreneurship, you know? And I think that's something a lot of our listeners can relate to, right? Sometimes the biggest lessons come from those projects that don't go exactly as planned.
Totally. It makes you realize that even someone like Sam Altman, who's now this leading figure in the AI world, had his share of early bumps in the road.
Oh, yeah, for sure. But it's like those bumps are what paved the way for everything that came after.
Makes sense. Okay, so how did he transition from location-sharing apps to the world of AI and OpenAI? How did that happen?
Well, after Looped, he joined Y Combinator, the startup accelerator.
Oh, right, Y Combinator.
Yeah, and that's really where his fascination with research labs took off. He ends up co-founding OpenAI with this intense focus on, like, deep learning.
Deep learning. For those of us who aren't super technical, can you quickly explain what that is?
Basically, it's training computers to learn from massive amounts of data, like think huge data sets.
So the computer is finding patterns and making connections on its own.
Exactly. But back then, this was a pretty radical idea. A lot of people thought it was a long shot, you know, like it wasn't the mainstream AI approach.
So they're going against the grain with this idea.
Big time. Altman actually talks about how some people saw their approach as like heretical or irresponsible even.
Wow. So they're facing all this skepticism, but they're betting everything on this deep learning approach.
They were totally convinced that deep learning was the key to unlocking the real potential of AI.
It takes some serious guts to stick to your convictions when everyone else is doubting you.
Totally. Altman compares their conviction to discovering, and I love this quote, a new square on the periodic table.
Wow, that's a powerful analogy.
Right. Like they were convinced they had stumbled upon something fundamental, something truly groundbreaking, and they were determined to prove it to the world.
It's amazing how sometimes those groundbreaking ideas are the ones that initially face the most resistance. It's like people need time to catch up, to wrap their heads around something truly new.
Yeah, it can be tough being ahead of the curve.
So they had this unwavering belief in deep learning.
Yeah.
But they also had limited resources, right? They were a startup going up against tech giants. How do they make it work?
They made some strategic choices. They decided to concentrate all their resources on just a few key areas.
Okay, so instead of spreading themselves thin, they went all in on a few specific approaches.
Exactly. They focused on things like unsupervised learning.
Which is?
Basically, letting the AI find patterns in data without giving it explicit instructions.
Oh, so it's like figuring things out on its own.
Exactly. And they also focused on reinforcement learning.
Remind me what that is again.
Reinforcement learning is where the AI learns through trial and error. It tries different things, gets feedback, and adjusts its approach based on what works best.
Ah, got it. So they're going deep on these specific areas. It must have been pretty intense in those early days at OpenAI, like a small team, a bold vision.
Oh, I bet it was electric. And they had these, like, legendary flip charts in Greg Brockman's apartment.
Greg Brockman, one of the co-founders.
Yeah. And these flip charts listed all of OpenAI's goals. And get this, those early predictions turned out to be incredibly accurate.
Really? Like they knew what was coming.
It's almost prophetic. It's like they had this roadmap for the future of AI, and they were following it step by step.
There's something almost mythical about that. It's like a classic tale of the underdogs with a bold vision taking on the establishment. But even with the vision and the strategy, they still needed some major breakthroughs to prove their approach could work.
Right. They needed to show the world that deep learning could deliver.
And they did, right?
Hmm.
There's that incredible story about one of their researchers, Alec Radford, who made this pivotal discovery.
Oh, yeah, Alec Radford. He was analyzing Amazon reviews.
Wait, Amazon reviews. What does that have to do with AI?
Well, he was studying how these deep learning models were processing language, and he noticed something remarkable. He found that a single neuron in the model could actually flip the sentiment of a review.
Like change it from positive to negative.
Exactly. Just one tiny switch could completely alter the meaning.
Wow, that's incredible.
Right. It showed just how powerful these models were in understanding the nuances of human language.
It's like they're cracking the code of how we think and communicate.
Yeah.
So this discovery with Amazon reviews, was that a turning point for OpenAI?
It was huge. This discovery directly led to the development of their GPT series. You've probably heard of it.
But GPT-3 was making headlines a while back.
Right. GPT stands for Generative Pre-trained Transformer. Basically, it's a type of language model that uses deep learning to generate human-quality text.
Welcome to Visionversity, the new digital world for growth, learning, and help in business and life. Unlock your potential with Visionversity. Dive into powerful podcasts and book summaries from billionaire, millionaire, and greatest people that transform your money, business, and growth mindset. Ready to enhance your life and shape the future? Join the global movement now at visionversity.in, where your success begins.
So it can write like a human.
Pretty much. And it can do all sorts of things, translate languages, write different kinds of creative content, answer your questions in an informative way, even generate different creative text formats.
Wow. So they had this breakthrough technology with GPT-3. But I remember even then, a lot of people were still skeptical. They saw it as more of a cool tech demo than something that could actually form the basis of successful businesses.
You're right. People weren't quite sure how to use it practically. It was like, oh, okay, it's cool, but what can we actually do with this?
So when did things start to change? When did GPT really take off?
Well, the turning point was really GPT 3.5. That's when you see this explosion of interest from startups.
Startups. Interesting.
Especially in the Y Combinator ecosystem, they started seeing the real potential for building businesses on top of GPT 3.5.
So the practical applications started to become clearer.
Exactly. But it was really GPT-4 that cemented things.
GPT-4, the latest version.
Yeah. That's when the power of these large language models became undeniable.
Can you give me an example of how GPT-4 is being used successfully? A real-world example.
Absolutely. One of the best examples is Jake Heller. He founded this YC company called CaseText.
CaseText, what do they do?
They're focused on legal tech. And Jake Heller was one of the early adopters of GPT-4.
Oh, wow. So he saw the potential right away.
He built this amazing tool for the legal field that leverages GPT-4's capabilities. And it was so successful that his company ended up getting acquired for a massive sum.
Acquired? For how much?
$650 million.
$650 million. That's,
yeah.
I mean, that's a pretty clear sign that GPT-4 is the real deal.
Right. It's not just hype anymore. It's driving real business value.
Okay, so now I'm really intrigued by those levels of AGI that OpenAI uses to categorize AI development. You mentioned them earlier. Can you break them down for me? What are those levels all about?
It's this fascinating framework they developed. They categorize AI development into 5 distinct levels.
5 levels, from basic chatbots to like the super intelligent systems we were talking about earlier.
Exactly. Level 1 is where we see those simple chatbots that are everywhere these days. You know, the ones that can answer basic questions or provide automated customer support.
Okay, so level 1, basic chatbots. What about level 2?
Level 2 is all about reasoning systems. These are AI systems that can understand and respond to more complex queries and tasks.
So they can actually reason through problems.
In a way, yes. And OpenAI believes they actually achieved this level 2 milestone earlier this year with their O1 model.
So we're already beyond the basic chatbot phase and into systems that can actually reason. That's pretty exciting.
It is. And level 3 focuses on something they call agents.
Agents. What does that mean in the context of AI?
These are AI systems that can interact with the real world in a more sophisticated way. They can carry out tasks that involve multiple steps and can even learn from their experiences.
So it's like they're not just processing information, they're actually taking actions in the real world.
Exactly. Think of it as AI that can bridge the gap between the digital world and the physical world.
That's starting to sound like what people typically imagine when they think of advanced AI.
Right. And then we move to level 4, which represents innovators.
Innovators, okay. What sets them apart?
These are AI systems that are capable of genuine scientific breakthroughs. They can push the boundaries of human knowledge and discover things we haven't even thought of yet.
So that's where we start to see AI that can truly innovate, not just mimic human intelligence.
Exactly. And this is where that airfoil example comes in, the one we talked about earlier.
The AI that designed a functional airfoil, that was a level 4 system.
It's a strong indication that we might be closer to that level than we think.
Wow. And it ties into Altman's belief that AI could potentially solve all of physics, right?
Yes. He's really excited about the potential for AI to revolutionize scientific discovery.
It's mind-blowing to think we might be on the verge of such a massive shift in how we understand the universe. Okay, last level, level 5. What's that all about?
Level 5 is the ultimate goal, the holy grail of AGI.
So what did that look like?
It's about AI systems that can operate at the scale of entire organizations.
Right.
They can collaborate, innovate, and make decisions in ways that fundamentally change how we work and live.
That's a pretty big vision. It's almost like we're talking about AI that's integrated into every aspect of society.
It's a future where AI is no longer just a tool, but a partner, a collaborator in shaping the world around us.
It's exciting and a little bit daunting at the same time.
It is. There are so many questions about what this means for humanity, for our future.
Exactly. So with all this talk about AGI, about these incredible advancements, what advice does Altman have for entrepreneurs who are trying to build businesses in this rapidly changing landscape? How do you stay ahead of the curve?
His advice is surprisingly straightforward. He says, embrace the technology, move fast, and leverage your speed and adaptability.
So it's about being nimble and responsive in a world that's constantly changing.
Exactly. He sees this rapid pace of AI development as a huge advantage for startups. They can move much faster than larger companies that are often bogged down by bureaucracy and legacy systems.
Like they can ride the wave of innovation.
Exactly. But he also gives this important cautionary note. He emphasizes that even though AI is transformative, the fundamental rules of business still apply.
So you can't just rely on the technology alone.
Right. Building a successful company still requires creating genuine value, solving real problems, and offering something unique.
So it's about finding that sweet spot, that balance between cutting-edge technology and solid business principles.
Absolutely. You need both to thrive in this new age of AI.
This is all incredibly exciting, but it's also a lot to process. It feels like we're at the edge of something truly transformative.
We are, and it's moving incredibly fast. I think the key takeaway here is that AI is changing the rules of the game. Those who adapt quickly, who embrace the possibilities, will be the ones who shape the future.
So what's next? Where do we go from here?
Well, before we jump into the future of AGI, I think it's worth taking a closer look at Altman's personal journey. His experiences, especially with that first company, Looped.
Oh yeah, Looped. The location sharing app before smartphones.
Exactly. His story offers some valuable insights for anyone navigating the ups and downs of the entrepreneurial world.
I'm intrigued. Let's dive into Altman's early days and see what lessons we can learn.
It's funny, we were just talking about OpenAI's early days and all the excitement around that, but Altman's journey as an entrepreneur actually started way before OpenAI.
Oh yeah, with Looped. Right, that was back when he was, what, like 19 or something?
19. Can you imagine starting a company at that age?
Barely out of high school. It's pretty impressive. But I'm still trying to wrap my head around launching a location sharing app before smartphones were a thing. I mean, how did that even work?
It was a different world. No iPhones, no app stores.
So how did people even use the app?
Well, most people didn't have GPS devices on them all the time.
Right, it wasn't like everyone was carrying around a GPS unit everywhere they went.
Exactly. So Looped had to integrate with, like, Feature phones?
Feature phones. Now, those are a blast from the past. Remember those tiny screens and the physical keypads?
Yeah, exactly. So Looped had to get creative. They figured out ways to, like, estimate location based on cell tower triangulation and stuff.
Wow, that's pretty ingenious. But even with all that effort, I can't imagine it was easy to convince people to share their location back then. It wasn't really a thing yet.
Nope, not at all. Altman admits that Looped wasn't a commercial success.
Yeah, but he still talks about it as this incredibly valuable experience, right?
He does. He says those early struggles taught him so much about building a team, dealing with platform shifts. The tech landscape was changing so rapidly even back then.
Right, and he had to adapt quickly to stay afloat.
And he learned about resilience, like how to bounce back from setbacks and keep pushing forward.
I think that's such an important lesson for any entrepreneur. You're going to face challenges. Things aren't always going to go as planned. But it's about how you learn from those experiences and keep moving forward.
Absolutely. And Altman really highlights the sheer volume of learning that happened during those early startup days. He says it was unlike anything he experienced later on.
Makes sense. It's like when you're starting out, every day is a fire hose of new information and challenges. You're learning by doing, figuring things out as you go.
Exactly. And those early lessons, those scars, they kind of shape you as an entrepreneur.
Okay, so we've talked about Altman's early journey, those formative experiences with Looped. But let's shift gears back to the present. You mentioned earlier that OpenAI now has this newfound clarity about achieving AGI. What does that actually mean? What's changed?
It's like they've finally cracked the code. Altman says that for the first time, they have a clear research path, a solid infrastructure plan, and a really well-defined product roadmap.
So they've moved beyond the experimentation phase and are now in execution mode.
Exactly. It's all about focused execution now. And Altman believes this clarity, this alignment within the organization is a major factor in their ability to innovate so rapidly.
It's like everyone's on the same page, working towards a shared goal with a clear understanding of how to get there.
Right. And this is something any organization can learn from, It doesn't matter if you're building AI or working in a completely different field. Having that shared understanding, that alignment can be incredibly powerful.
Having everyone rowing in the same direction, definitely. But on top of that clarity and focus, Altman also highlights another advantage that OpenAI and startups in general have over larger companies.
You're talking about speed, right?
Yeah, speed. He points out that large companies often get bogged down in these lengthy planning cycles, while startups can move much faster and adapt to changes more effectively. It's like, that's a good analogy.
It's like the difference between a speedboat and a giant cargo ship, right?
Perfect. The speedboat can turn on a dime, change direction quickly, while that massive cargo ship, it takes forever to turn, to adjust course.
Exactly. And in a field like AI, where the landscape is shifting so rapidly, that agility, that ability to move fast is crucial.
It makes you wonder how those larger organizations, those big cargo ships, can adapt and compete in this environment.
It's a challenge for sure. They need to find ways to become more nimble, more responsive.
Maybe it's about empowering teams to make decisions more quickly, fostering a culture that embraces experimentation and risk-taking. It's got to be tough to break free from those ingrained processes and hierarchies.
It is. But to stay competitive in the age of AI, those bigger companies will need to find a way.
Speaking of staying competitive, Altman had some really interesting advice for entrepreneurs who are looking to build businesses in this new age of AI, didn't he?
Yeah, his advice was pretty clear. Embrace the technology. Don't be afraid of it. Move quickly and leverage your speed and adaptability as an advantage over those larger, slower-moving companies.
He's basically saying if you're a startup, this is your time to shine.
Exactly. But he also cautions against falling into this trap of believing that AI is some sort of magical solution, like it's not going to eliminate the need for solid business principles.
Right. You can't just slap an AI label on something and expect it to be successful. It still comes down to creating real value for customers.
Absolutely. You still need to solve real problems. You need a sustainable business model. You need to offer something unique, something that sets you apart.
So it's this balancing act, embracing the power of AI while staying grounded in those fundamental business principles.
Exactly. Now, do you remember those 5 levels of AGI we were discussing earlier?
The framework OpenAI developed to categorize the different stages of AI development.
Yeah. That. It's really interesting how they came up with that framework. They wanted to bring some clarity to the term AGI because it had become so ambiguous, Everyone was using it, but in different ways.
Right, like it had lost its meaning.
Yeah.
So they wanted to define what AGI actually means in concrete terms.
Exactly. They wanted to create this roadmap of milestones, these clear steps on the path to achieving true artificial general intelligence.
Okay, so remind me again, what are those 5 levels?
Level 1 is where we see those simple chatbots, the ones that can answer basic questions or help you book a flight.
Okay, level 1, basic chatbots. Got it. What's level 2?
Level 2 is about reasoning systems, systems that can actually understand and respond to more complex requests.
So beyond just providing pre-programmed responses.
Right. And OpenAI believes they've actually achieved this level 2 milestone earlier this year with the release of their O1 model.
O1. So they're already past the basic chatbot phase and into systems that can actually reason and solve problems. That's impressive.
It is. And level 3 focuses on agents.
Agents. What exactly are AI agents?
These are AI systems that can interact with the real world in a more sophisticated way. They can carry out tasks that involve multiple steps. They can learn from their experiences.
So it's AI that can bridge the gap between the digital world and the physical world.
Exactly. They can perceive their environment, make decisions, take actions, and adapt based on feedback.
That's getting closer to what people often envision when they think of, like, truly intelligent machines.
You got it. And then there's level 4, which represents innovators.
Innovators. Okay, so these are the AIs that are capable of really groundbreaking stuff.
Exactly. These are systems that can make genuine scientific breakthroughs, push the boundaries of human knowledge, discover things that we haven't even thought of yet.
That's where the airfoil example comes in, right? The AI that actually designed a functional airfoil. It seemed like something out of a science fiction movie.
It does, right. And it's a strong indication that we might be closer to that level 4, the innovator stage, than we realize.
And this ties in with Altman's excitement about the potential for AI to solve all of physics, doesn't it?
Yes. He believes AI has the potential to revolutionize scientific discovery. He thinks it can help us understand the universe in ways we can't even imagine right now.
It's a mind-blowing thought. Okay, and the final level, level 5, what's that all about?
Level 5 is the big one. It's the ultimate goal, the holy grail of AGI. It's about AI systems that can operate at the scale of entire organizations.
What does that even look like? AI running companies.
Well, think about it. These are AI systems that can collaborate and make decisions in ways that fundamentally change how organizations function. They could help us solve complex problems, come up with innovative solutions, and manage resources more efficiently.
So it's not just about individual tasks or specific problems. It's about AI being integrated into the very fabric of how we work and live.
Exactly.
Right.
It's a future where AI is no longer just a tool, but a partner, a collaborator in shaping the world around us. It's a powerful vision, both exciting and a little bit daunting.
It definitely raises a lot of questions. But it's clear that Altman is optimistic overall, believing that AGI will ultimately lead to a better world for everyone.
He is. He sees the potential for AI to solve some of humanity's biggest challenges, to improve our lives in countless ways. But we also have to be mindful of the potential risks.
That's something we can't ignore. It's important to have those conversations about the ethical implications of AI to ensure it's developed and used responsibly.
Absolutely. Now, earlier we were talking about the challenges faced by those larger, more established companies in adapting to this new age of AI.
The big cargo ships trying to navigate this rapidly changing sea.
Exactly. What are your thoughts on how they can avoid being left behind in this AI revolution? What do they need to do to stay competitive?
It's tough. Startups have a natural advantage in this environment. They can move quickly, experiment, and pivot without being held back by those legacy systems and processes.
Right. So how do those bigger companies change? How do they adapt?
I think it starts with a shift in mindset. They need to be willing to embrace new technologies, even if it means disrupting their existing ways of doing things. They need to foster a culture that encourages innovation and experimentation.
I agree. And they also need to attract and retain top talent in the field of AI. That's going to be crucial.
It's about creating an environment where the best and brightest minds in AI want to work.
Exactly. It's about giving those talented individuals the resources, the freedom, and the support they need to push the boundaries of what's possible.
It's interesting, though, because it's not just about competition. We're also seeing a lot of collaboration in the AI space. Companies of all sizes are partnering up, pooling resources and sharing expertise.
That's a great point. No single company can do it all alone. This is a field that demands collaboration.
It's like everyone recognizes that we're facing these massive challenges and opportunities that require a collective effort.
And this collaborative spirit is also evident in the open source movement within the AI community.
Where researchers and developers are openly sharing their code, their tools, their data. It's pretty inspiring to see that level of openness and collaboration.
It is. It's a reminder that AI isn't just about technology, it's about people. It's about people working together to solve problems and create a better future.
So the future of AI will be shaped not only by technological advancements, but also by the collective efforts of individuals, organizations, and even nations.
Absolutely. We all have a role to play in shaping this future, and that's a pretty powerful thought, isn't it? It's not just about passively observing what's happening. It's about actively participating in shaping the future we want to see.
As we wrap up this part of our deep dive, I'm curious to hear what's resonated most with you from our conversation about Sam Altman and his vision for AI. What are your key takeaways so far?
What struck me the most is the sheer speed of development in this field. It's mind-boggling. It's clear that we're on the verge of a technological revolution, and it's both incredibly exciting and a little bit daunting.
It's like we're standing at the edge of a new frontier, and there are so many unknowns.
Exactly. It's both exhilarating and a little bit scary. But it's also a reminder that we need to be having these conversations, these thoughtful discussions about the implications of AI, about the potential benefits and risks, and about the kind of future we want to create.
We can't just sit back and let things unfold. We need to be actively shaping this future, guiding it in a direction that benefits all of humanity.
Well said. Now, before we conclude our deep dive, I think it's worth taking a closer look at Altman's personal journey, the experiences that have shaped his perspective on AI and the future of technology.
I'm intrigued. Let's explore Altman's background and see what we can learn. It really is amazing to think about how Altman's path, from those early days with Looped to leading OpenAI, has informed his views on AI and its potential, right?
You know, it's true. His story really does have some valuable lessons for anyone who's grappling with the challenges of technological innovation, especially in a field like AI, where things are changing so fast, it's like a roller coaster almost.
It feels like he really embraces that uncertainty, though. He seems very open to adapting and learning from both successes and failures, and that resonates with anyone who's ever tried to build something new.
Definitely. And he's very upfront about how, yeah, Looped wasn't a commercial success,
Right.
but it gave him crucial learning experiences that he absolutely carried into his work with OpenAI.
It's a good reminder for us all that the path to success is almost never a straight line, Yeah. It's about navigating those twists and turns and learning from those setbacks and knowing when to pivot. It's about the journey as much as the destination.
And what always strikes me about Altman is his deep, unwavering belief in the power of technology, even when faced with those early challenges. He tells the story about his fascination with mobile phones.
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
It's what led him to create Looped. He saw the potential, even though the technology wasn't quite there yet.
He saw the potential of smartphones before they were even mainstream. That takes some serious vision.
It does. And that same forward-thinking approach is evident in his work with OpenAI today.
Right, they're pushing the boundaries of what's possible with AI, creating these systems that can reason and learn and innovate in ways that even a few years ago we couldn't have imagined.
It's clear he sees AI as more than just a tool. It's a force that has the power to reshape our world,
Address our biggest challenges, unlock incredible possibilities.
Exactly. Which brings us to his advice for young entrepreneurs who are navigating this rapidly evolving landscape. What stands out to you from his recommendations?
I think it's his emphasis on embracing the power of AI, on moving fast, leveraging speed and adaptability as a key advantage, especially for startups. It's almost like he's saying, don't be afraid to take risks and experiment.
It's almost like he's saying, this is your moment, seize it.
Right.
He recognizes that startups have this inherent agility, this ability to move quickly and iterate in ways that larger companies often can't. They're not bogged down by bureaucracy.
He also emphasizes the importance of staying grounded, though, even amidst all the excitement surrounding AI.
Right. He does. He cautions against falling into the trap of thinking that AI is this magical solution, like you can just sprinkle AI on anything and it'll automatically be successful.
Right. You still need to create something valuable, something that solves real problems. It's
Yeah.
not about just slapping an AI label on something.
It's about understanding your customers, building a sustainable business, differentiating yourself in the market. Those fundamental business principles, they still apply.
It's about finding that balance between cutting-edge technology and those solid business fundamentals.
Exactly. So as we wrap up our deep dive into Sam Altman's insights, what are some of the key takeaways you want our listeners to walk away with?
I think first and foremost, the future is being shaped right now, and AI is at the center of it.
Absolutely. And those who embrace AI, who learn quickly and adapt to this rapidly changing landscape, they're going to be the ones shaping that future.
But AI, as powerful as it is not a magic bullet. Success still hinges on a deep understanding of what your customers need, a clear vision for your business, and a relentless focus on execution.
Right. Vision and execution. You need both. And finally, I think it's so crucial that we all continue having these open and honest conversations about the implications of AI. What are the ethical considerations? The potential risks? We have to ensure that this incredible technology is developed and used in a way that truly benefits all of humanity.
It's not just about building cool technology. It's about using that technology to make the world a better place for everyone.
Well said. This deep dive has given us some incredible insights into the mind of a true visionary, a leader who is at the forefront of this AI revolution.
We've explored just how transformative AI can be, the challenges it presents, the opportunities it unlocks,
And the profound responsibility we all have to guide its development in a way that truly serves humanity.
We encourage all of you listening to keep exploring the implications of AI in your own fields, in your careers, in your lives. This is a future that's unfolding right now.
And we all have a role to play in shaping it.
So until next time, keep learning, keep questioning, and keep pushing the boundaries of what's possible.
In this exciting and rapidly evolving age of intelligence.
Welcome to Visionversity, the new digital world for growth, learning, and help in business and life. Unlock your potential with Visionversity. Dive into powerful podcasts and book summaries from billionaire, millionaire, and greatest people that transform your money, business, and growth mindset. Ready to enhance your life and shape the future? Join the global movement now at visionversity.in, where your success begins.